Welcome to the discussion on Constellation Architecture detailed discussion. In previous video, and basic overview of Constellation was given. I will provide you the link over here. Just have a look at that video. It's just a 5 minutes video, which will give a basic understanding of how Constellation is going to work. In this video, it is just for an advanced users whom they want to understand how things work under the hood. So this video will give a clear insight of how Constellation is working. With that, let's get into this thing. So now imagine this is our browser here, and this is all our browser. It can be in any mobile or any sort of browser. This is our browser interface. And now what Pega has done is they had given a sort of a Constellation design systems. So in the systems, they are having all their components loaded. Like, what do you mean by components? Components is nothing but a text box, radio button, drop down, everything. All these are small components, which is all designed and then loaded into this design Constellation design system, which is all sort of designed by Pega. And what we will do is this is based on that mainly digital frontends like React, AngularJS, and other web components. And all these things will be interacting with the public Constellation JS, because the key paradigm shift in Constellation, it is a client server engine. So which means everything is done in that browser itself. To support with this browser, that's what the system is going to be. So within, now we can see within the browser, it is having the Constellation design system, and this is loaded with the components, and these components are sort of built in the React Angular parts, and then it is using the Constellation JS public API to interact with how this is going to connect with the Pega now, because everything we are seeing in the front end now this is the thing. So now if you can see all these parts, in whenever any mouse click, anything is happening, any data interaction is happening. Previously, the load everything was done by the Pega server itself. Now, it is clearly calling the Constellation DX API over here, which interact with that Pega Infinity server. This is how all these Constellation actions take place. Now, for this particular Constellation design to up and running, there should be one more sort of a server needed, which is called as a Constellation UI service. So basically this is another service which will be running separately in Pega Cloud. During our application design, we will make one HTTPS connection to the particular server. I will show you where it is in the future classes. So basically to make this read everything, all the components from here. So this uses this Constellation UI service over here. So if you look at this entire structure over here, it starts from the Constellation design, which takes the support from this Constellation server, and which is built on React, Angular, and other web components. It interacts with Constellation JS, which is a public API. That public API interacts with Constellation DX API, and the call is made to the Infinity server. So this is all given by the Pega. Now, why Pega is insisting to use only their components is because if you are using this way, the work is minimal. You will be using the same text box, you will be using that radio button, and the look and feel, everything will be sort of given by Pega. Now, the other way is, now for advanced people, some of the requirements where Pega components is not suitable, that we need to build our components. Then the flexibility again is provided by Pega. How they are providing the facility is, let's move on. Now, what Pega will do, coming up with that flexible architecture to expand this UI is, now from Pega Infinity server, we can fetch all the DX metadata components. Say for example, if you are having a component, we can simply extract all the details using the DX API. Using the metadata, you can extract it. And once you extract the metadata, you can import everything into other SDKs. So which will used for designing React, AngularJS, or any other web components. So this is completely going outside of Pega now. SDK is a software development kit, and where once the build everything is completed, what we will be doing is we will be deploying those developed components into some static library, which will be a customer UI service. We need to provide that UI service because the rendering should happen from that point, and then this is called as an alternative system. So again, the browser will fetch from that alternative system design. So now what is this alternative to system design? It is fetching from this UI, it's fetching from this component, and it is an alternative system DX component. So imagine this is the components of Pega. These are your non-Pega components, which means it has to be rendered onto your browser. So towards your left hand side everything is done by Pega, and then towards your right hand side everything is whatever you created on your own. So now what Pega is taking the advantage anyway is they are providing their own components, plus they are allowing the flexibility to pick up other components which is not designed within Pega, but still it is built within Angular or in React. We can make use of this and then use it in this portal, which is because all the rendering at the end is happening in the browser. So this is the overall architecture of the Constellation architecture, because this is very important. Going forward, all this API call will be happening, and even the tracer, everything will be changing. So just to why the tracer is not, why we are using tracer, why the call is happening like this, this is an important architecture to understand. Thanks all for watching the video. We will soon see you in another video. Thank you.